Bird used to tell me, look here, man. I'm gonna go shoot this motherfucking jumper in your face right there in that corner. And it's gonna be your Christmas present. I'm gonna wrap it up and bust your head open.
Larry made me have sleepless nights.
If you had 273 professional athletes here, professional basketball player, and you say who's the dirtiest player in the NBA, you know, I say 95%, I say Lambeer or Larry Bird.
There's a huge difference between respecting someone's game and straight up being afraid of them. The NBA has seen plenty of killers. Michael Jordan, Shaq, Kobe Bryant, Kevin Garnett, but only one man made other Hall of Famers admit they were terrified. Larry Bird, the slow-footed white dude who looked like somebody's uncle at a Sunday pickup run, somehow managed to break legends down mentally until they were completely shattered. And it wasn't just intimidation. It was psychological destruction on another level. Even Gary Payton, the most feared trash talker in NBA history, said Bird was different.
Yeah, Larry Bird was the coldest shit talker ever, man. And he bagged it up because he was so cold.
6 Hall of Fame players, 6 stone-cold competitors who never backed down from anybody. All of them confessed the same thing. Larry Bird made them feel something no other player ever did: fear. This is the wild story of how a man who couldn't jump over a phone book became one of the scariest players the game has ever seen. These aren't myths. These are first-hand accounts from legends who lived it. Charles Barkley, one of the cockiest players to ever step on hardwood, talked trash to everyone and usually backed it up. But against Bird, confidence meant nothing. Larry didn't just beat you physically. He owned you mentally before the ball even tipped. Imagine someone telling you exactly how you'll fail, and then making it happen right in front of you. Picture this: the NBA's very first three-point contest. 8 of the best shooters in the world, nerves buzzing in the locker room. Then Larry Bird strolls in cool as ice. Charles Barkley was there. He told this story on Club Shay Shay.
Larry heard a pin drop.
Bird looked around and asked, "Which one of you is finishing second?" Then he went out and proved it. Not once, but 3 years in a row. 1986, 1987, 1988. Bird dominated all of them. And get this, he didn't even take off his warm-up jacket for parts of the contest. That's pure arrogance mixed with absolute confidence. But Bird wasn't done flexing that mind control. During a game against the Sixers, he pulled Charles Barkley aside mid-play and dropped a line so cold it left Chuck speechless.
I remember him, he was cursing under his breath. And I asked him, I said, Larry, what's going on with you? He says, you guys are being disrespectful to me. And I says, what are you talking about? He says, you guys are putting a white guy on me. That's disrespectful.
Wait, who's the white guy you put on him?
I can't remember who it was. I just started laughing. I had no comeback. But he says, it's disrespectful when y'all put a white guy on me.
Bird told him straight up, I don't want a white guy guarding me. It's disrespectful to my game. Barkley had no comeback. Later, Bird even confirmed it on ESPN. He used his own race as a psychological weapon. He didn't just make opponents doubt their defense. He made them question who was even worthy of trying to stop him. That's not trash talk. That's mental warfare disguised as confidence. And if that sounds wild, wait till you hear what happened next. Dennis Rodman, the Worm, the league's most relentless defender, the man who could drive any scorer insane, thought he was ready for Bird. Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals at Boston Garden. Rodman was 25, young, hungry, and locked in. He barely slept, barely ate. He just studied tape and swore he'd shut Bird down.
So that was my whole job, to guard the toughest guy on the team, on the other teams. So, so I'm guarding him. And every time I turn my head, he's over there in the three-point line. He said, I'm over here, Rook. I'm like...
But Bird wasn't having it. He dropped 37 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists, and the Celtics won by 9. Then came the moment that broke Rodman's spirit. Mid-game, Bird yells out to Pistons coach Chuck Daly, "Who's guarding me, Chuck? Anybody? You better find someone quick or I'm going for 60. The entire arena froze. Daly had no answer, and Rodman could only watch helplessly as Bird torched them again and again. After that brutal Game 7, Rodman was so destroyed he said things he later apologized for. Even he, the 5-time champion, the greatest rebounder of his generation, admitted he got cooked by Larry Bird. But here's the craziest part. What Bird did to the league's best trash talker next makes Rodman's humiliation look light. Bird didn't just talk, he owned minds, and once he was in your head, you were finished. Gary Payton made a living destroying people with his mouth. The Glove wasn't just a lockdown defender. He was the undisputed king of trash talk, the dude who made even Michael Jordan have to work for every bucket. But when Payton went up against Larry Bird, He realized fast there were levels to this game. 4 meetings, 4 losses. And those 4 games changed the way Peyton viewed trash talk forever.
Bird used to tell me, look here, man. I'm gonna go shoot this motherfucking jumper in your face right there in that corner. And it's gonna be your Christmas present. I'm gonna wrap it up and bust your head open.
On Draymond Green's podcast, Peyton broke it down, and the clip went viral. He said straight up that Larry Bird was the coldest dude he'd ever seen.
I'm gonna take you over to this corner. I'm gonna dribble 2 times. I'm gonna hit your ass in the face, and it bet not touch the rim.
Wow.
And then he said, if it do, I'm gonna come right back and do it again until it touch it. Motherfucker used to tell you, boy, you can't do shit with me. I'm too motherfucking good for this.
Wow.
I'm gonna give you a Christmas present. This jumper in your face.
LeBron even reposted the clip on Instagram like, yes, he was. Kevin Garnett shared it on JJ Redick's podcast too. These aren't random fans talking. These are legends acknowledging the mind of a true assassin. Peyton explained how Bird didn't just talk. He predicted. He'd tell you exactly what was about to happen and then make it come true like it was destiny. And when it did, all you could do was shake your head. Even Peyton, the man who prided himself on breaking others, admitted Bird was the only one who ever rattled him. But that's nothing compared to what Bird did to the man most people call the greatest ever, Michael Jordan. Here's what a lot of younger fans don't get. The Bird-Jordan rivalry wasn't just about buckets and highlights. Everyone's seen the no-look passes, the deep threes, and the clutch shots, but they missed what came before the ball even touched the floor. Larry Bird was playing chess while everyone else was still setting up checkers. Michael Jordan was the most ruthless competitor in NBA history, a killer who destroyed people physically and mentally without a blink. But even he couldn't escape Bird's psychological traps. During the 1986 playoffs, Jordan dropped 63 points in the Boston Garden, still the all-time playoff record. The entire arena was stunned. After the game, Bird didn't sound like he'd just faced a mortal man. He said, that was God disguised as Michael Jordan. Jordan later admitted it was the biggest compliment he'd ever received. But notice, he never thanked Bird. He wanted to keep that edge, that rivalry alive. And that's how real the mental game was.
If you had 273 professional athletes here, a professional basketball player, and you say who's the dirtiest player in the NBA, you know, I say 95%, I say like Lambeer or Larry Bird.
Really?
Yeah.
Rookie B.J. Armstrong once tried to talk back to Bird, and Jordan shut him down instantly. Jordan told his teammates, nobody says a word to Larry Bird. Bird even teased, come on, Michael, let these guys talk. But Jordan refused. He knew Bird's secret weapon was energy. The moment you engaged, he fed off your frustration and made you crumble. So Jordan created a new rule, silence. Nobody talked to Bird. Nobody even looked at him sideways. And still, it didn't matter. Bird dominated the Bulls every single time it counted. Their playoff history? Bird, 6 wins. Jordan, 0. That's right. MJ never beat Larry Bird in the playoffs. Not once. 6 games, 6 losses. The man who would later be called the GOAT went winless against a player who couldn't jump but could mentally destroy anyone in his path. And yet, as bad as that sounds, even Jordan didn't endure what Dominique Wilkins went through. For 13 straight seasons, the human highlight film was fearless, dunking on giants, talking his talk, never backing down. But the first time he met Larry Bird, he found out what real intimidation felt like. Before their first game, Wilkins went up to Bird to shake hands. Bird looked him dead in the eye and said, I don't know why they got you guarding me, Holmes. First play of the game, Bird pulls up for a 3. Swish, no hesitation. Wilkins fired back the next play, drove down, dunked right on Bird, and pointed at him like, I'm here. From that night on, for 13 years, the two men never spoke again. No handshakes, no words, nothing. The silent war between them became legendary. And when it all came full circle in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference semifinals years later, Bird took it up another notch. He guaranteed victory to the press before the ball even tipped. That's not just confidence. That's Larry Legend knowing exactly how the story ends before it even starts. Atlanta blew their shot, and Larry Bird made sure the whole world knew it. Before Game 7, Bird told reporters flat out, I'm guaranteeing a win in Boston. No hesitation, no filter. Pure confidence. Dominique Wilkins fired right back saying, whoever's guarding me tonight gonna have a long night. That's how legends talk. No fake respect, just 2 killers ready for war. What followed became one of the greatest duels in NBA history. Wilkins went off, 47 points on 19 of 23 shooting, nearly unstoppable. But Bird was fighting bronchial pneumonia and still dropped 34 points, with 20 coming in the fourth quarter alone. The Celtics squeaked out a 118-116 win, and the Garden went insane. When the final buzzer sounded, something powerful happened. After 13 years of silence, 13 years of rivalry and tension, Larry Bird finally walked up to Wilkins during an inbound. The two locked eyes, no words, just respect. After all the trash talk and battles, Bird silently acknowledged what everyone already knew. Dominique was great, but Bird was greater. And yet, even that legendary showdown doesn't compare to the mind games between Bird and Magic Johnson, because no rivalry cut deeper, and no opponent haunted Bird more, or scared Magic the way Bird did. Magic Johnson, 5-time champion, the man who thrived in chaos, who faced every legend the league ever threw at him, still admits Larry Bird gave him nightmares.
Larry made me have sleepless nights, right? No, he did. He had me because I was scared to death that I knew he could beat me. Right. And so...
Think about that. Magic, the most confident smile in basketball history, saying one man got into his head. During the 1984 NBA Finals, Bird looked Magic dead in the eye mid-game and said, "I'm gonna score right here on you." Magic smirked and replied, "I know you will. I'll be ready." Bird took one dribble, turned, hit a jumper right in his face, nothing but net. As he jogged back down the floor, Bird said calmly, "Told you so," cold-blooded. Their rivalry went back even further. To 1978 at the World Invitational Tournament, Magic saw Bird dominate every player in sight, including the College Player of the Year. He knew from that day forward, this guy wasn't normal. Years later, at Bird's Hall of Fame induction in 1998, Magic couldn't even hold it together. Voice shaking, eyes watering, he said, "The biggest reason I'm here is because of you. You made me go to the gym every summer." That's not just respect, that's admiration through fear. But fast forward to December 2024 on FS1, Magic got brutally honest. He said, "I hated Larry. I hated every Celtic. I hate them even today."
I hated Larry and every Celtic. I really don't like you. Well, I knew Larry Bird was coming for me.
Right.
You see?
That's it.
And if we line it up now,
Right.
he put on that green, I put on that purple.
Yeah, he ain't playing. You ain't playing.
Come on, man.
That's how deep it ran. Hatred mixed with respect, and under it all, fear. Magic Johnson, a 5-time champion, a global icon, openly admitting that Larry Bird terrified him. Because Bird wasn't just a great player, he was a psychological outlier, a man who refused to accept that anyone could match him mentally. His career speaks for itself. 3 straight MVPs, 12 All-Star selections, 3 championships, 2 Finals MVPs, and career averages of 24.3 points, 10 rebounds, and 6.3 assists. But none of that tells the full story. What made Bird different wasn't just how he scored, it was that he told you exactly how he was going to do it, then did it anyway. 6 Hall of Famers, 6 of the toughest men to ever touch a basketball, all walked away saying the same thing. Larry Bird was the most terrifying player they ever faced. And it wasn't because he could jump higher or run faster. It was because of his mind. His brain was a weapon sharper than any crossover or dunk. If you think Larry Bird is the most underrated trash talker in NBA history, hit that like button right now. If you think someone else belongs on this list, drop their name in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe, share, and turn on those notifications, because this is just the beginning. Larry Bird didn't just play basketball, he played with people's minds, and nobody ever did it better.